feel-good weather continues throughout the evening, which wraps the day up nicely. Heinz Seriously Good Vegan Mayo sponsors ITV National Weather.
Hello and a very good evening to you. Hope you've all had a lovely Friday so far. If you are making plans for this weekend, overall the weather setup for many of us is looking fairly quiet across the UK. Now there may just be one or two showers around at times, but for most the main story is it is staying dry out there, but we're holding on to that fairly brisk, cool breeze. Now for the rest of tonight, more of that low cloud creeping in off the North Sea. May give a few spots of drizzle in places, but for most it will be dry, quite blustery, but with all of that across us tonight, it should prevent a frost from forming. So tomorrow, a bit of a cloudy start to the day for some. We may see one or two showers developing, I think, across parts of Wales, central England and the southwest. And if you catch one of these, they could be heavy and thundery. But for most of us, I say, it's a largely dry picture as we go through tomorrow. More in the way of sunshine, especially across northern areas. Once again, feeling cool out towards the coast with that breeze, but over towards the west, highs there, 18 degrees.
Heinz Seriously Good Vegan Mayo sponsors ITV National Weather.
The man spoke his last words to you. That's a bond.
Why didn't they ask Evans?
What does that mean?
I don't know. You caused quite a stir in the village.
That's how I like my villagers.
I want to help.
It's too late.
Why didn't they ask Evans? Streaming now, only on BritBox.
Good evening and welcome to Granada Reports. Billboards are going up across the northwest to raise awareness of what some people call the forgotten form of cancer. Secondary breast cancer has no cure and claims thousands of lives a year. Tasha Kachiri has this report.
1, 2, 3.
This celebration is bittersweet. These women are living with secondary breast cancer and seeing their awareness campaign on a billboard for the first time. But it's also where they've decided to say goodbye to a much-loved friend, mum and partner.
Oh, she was really kind. She loved doing things for other people. She was just the best, really.
Emily died from secondary breast cancer in February. She was just 30 years old and a mum of 3 girls.
What I'm hearing is once women get that diagnosis of secondary, it's just a waiting game until they die.
Yeah. It was really hard to find any support at all. Everyone I spoke to didn't know anything about it. Even some of our friends, even now, after Emily's gone, I've said to some of her friends, are you checking yourself? And they said, no, I'm not.
Emily was part of a 20-woman photo shoot to help spot the symptoms of secondary breast cancer while calling for more research for a cure.
Primary breast cancer, yes, the treatments are harsh, but you can survive primary breast cancer. You can't survive secondary breast cancer.
This form of cancer spreads to other parts of the body and is incurable. 1,000 women in the UK die from it every month. Kate and Kimberly are both living with secondary breast cancer. They're both mums and don't know how much time they have left.
It's hard. It's I think that's the hardest thing, knowing I probably won't be there when my children have children, and knowing how much I relied on my mum when I had children. That's quite tough.
My biggest concern is the people that I leave behind. So I'm trying to do as much as I can now. It's about making the memories, I think, just being here, being now and being as positive as I can.
Lisa felt she had to do something after her diagnosis 4 years ago, so she started the charity Make Seconds Count to raise awareness.
I really hope that it's going to make people stand up and take notice that this disease exists. The media don't really talk about secondary breast cancer. We see a lot about primary, and I think that imbalance really needs to be addressed. And I hope that by having this campaign on such a national scale that we're going to start to achieve that.
What Lisa has created here is a community of women to support each other, something that Isla, Emily's oldest daughter, says meant so much to her mum.
Made her feel happy that there was actually people like her with the same conditions, with like going through the same thing.
For these women, funding to help find a cure is vital while they cherish every second more they have with their loved ones. Tasha Kachiri, ITV News, Manchester.
Police have released the name of a man who died after a double stabbing in Ancoats in Manchester. Neri Morse was 24 and died on Wednesday. 2 men have been arrested. Manchester United's Cristiano Ronaldo has shared the first photo of his new baby daughter after her twin brother died. He and his partner Georgina revealed this week the boy didn't survive the birth. Ronaldo's posted on social media, "Now it's time to be grateful for the life we've welcomed into the world." Now, almost 5 years since the Manchester Arena attack, one of the survivors is in training for the Great Manchester Run to raise money for the hospital that saved her life. Freya Lewis lost her best friend in the bombing. Tim Scott has this report.
In training for the Manchester 10K with her dad at her side, Freya Lewis was just 14 when she was injured in the arena bombing. A few yards away from the blast when it happened, she lost her best friend Nell, was left in a coma and was in a wheelchair for 3 months. The upcoming 5th anniversary will be a poignant time.
I'm thinking, how was all that 5 years ago? And it's also quite a sad thing for me because then it means it's 5 years without Nell. And 5 years since my life was somewhat normal.
You mentioned going to Manchester each anniversary, and some people watching this might think it's a little strange, but what is your relationship with Manchester in the city centre these days, Freya?
I try to stay away from the arena and that area. I don't like looking out, I don't go anywhere near, but the actual centre of Manchester, I just think it's got a lovely atmosphere and it just makes us feel a bit uplifted and happy, and it's just a nice place to remember and just think about what happened to all of us and what we've all been through.
Freya's 10K run on the anniversary of the bombing this year will raise money for the Royal Manchester Children's Hospital, who helped her recover.
She was only discharged from the Children's Hospital in December 2021. So she's been seeing a lot of the same consultants, nurses, you know, they are her family.
Freya and her family have already raised over £65,000 for the hospital, and she plans to continue to fundraise every year she can to say thank you. Tim Scott, ITV News, Holmes Chapel.
On to football, and Wigan Athletic are just 1 win away from being promoted back to the Championship. Just 6 were heading towards being relegated for the 2nd time and going bust. They take on Plymouth Argyle tomorrow.
Certainly last year, you know, when the administrators are still here and, you know, there was no, potential buyer and seeing a lot of exodus, etc. So we wanted a foundation back at the football club, what we'd lost. Fingers crossed, you know, it can be a massive bonus if we achieve that this week.
But for Oldham, this weekend could see them go the other way. If results go against them, they could drop out of the Football League for the first time in 115 years. Tyson Fury is vowing to retire after tomorrow's fight with Dillian Whyte at Wembley. Morecambe's world champion boxer says he doesn't want to fight his other rivals. David Chisnell reports.
Tyson Fury! Weighing in one last time, heavyweight world champion Tyson Fury took to the scales today ahead of what he says will be his final fight when the Morecambe boxer defends his WBC title against fellow Brit Dillian Whyte at Wembley tomorrow night.
This is definitely it. This is the fight, and then you're hanging up the gloves, you're going back to Morecambe, and you're not going to be picking the gloves up again.
Yeah. Go back to Morecambe and just leave me alone. Don't call me, don't text me, and do not email me, because I'm out of bounds for everybody.
Just want to be a family man after this?
I want to be a normal family man, tend to my garden, tend to my kids, and live a happily ever after life like a fairy tale story.
While Fury is a character that splits opinion, his popularity has never been higher, with Hollywood stars among his fans.
All right, this one goes out to my brother Tyson. Tyson, I want to wish you the best of luck.
And tomorrow's fight attracting the biggest post-war boxing crowd ever seen in Europe.
94,000 fans, that is huge, isn't it?
I'm overwhelmed with support. I've come back to a hero's welcome. So big shout out to every person in this country and Britain who bought a ticket, who's coming to the fight, who's going to watch it on TV. You guys are the best. You made this happen.
Fury is undefeated in 32 professional fights, and the man hoping to spoil his fairy tale ending isn't convinced this will be the end.
Tyson says it's his final fight.
You can't believe anything Tyson Fury says. You know, Tyson Fury says a lot of things. I'm not going to let my mind wander about this or worry about this. I'm focused on getting the job done, and that's it, man.
If Fury does retire, then boxing fans will never get to see the much anticipated fight with Anthony Joshua. The 2012 Olympic super heavyweight champion is currently tied up in a rematch with Alexander Usyk after losing his world title belts to the Ukrainian.
Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk couldn't tempt you out of retirement if
They can come to the fight. I've got a ticket here for Alexander Usyk. I've got a ticket for Joshua. Come and watch a real man fight ringside.
Well, if this is Fury's last dance, then victory in his final fight will see him bow out of boxing with his bank balance boosted by the huge prize-winning pot of £25 million. David Chisnell, ITV News, Wembley.
Now, let's see what the weather's going to be doing over this weekend. Here's Kerry.
He's cooked up a storm and now he's going to scrape the fat into the bin instead of the sink. My guy.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hang on, was that fish?
Hello again, a blustery weekend ahead with a mix of sunshine and scattered showers. It will feel fairly pleasant in shelter from that wind though. Still some sunshine and temperatures above average and a mostly dry story with sunny intervals for Saturday and Sunday. Overnight tonight mostly dry. There will be a little bit more cloud coming in though from the east, particularly over higher ground with some mist and murk over the hills and potentially a few showers threatening in the east as well as we head towards dawn. Under the clearer skies in rural shelter from that northeasterly, lows of around 3 or 4 Celsius. As we head through into tomorrow, 5:53 and 8:26 are your sun times as we head into the weekend. For Saturday morning, particularly for the southern half of the region, a little bit of cloud, a few showers working from east to west. The best chance of the sunshine for parts of Cumbria and the Isle of Man. And then into the afternoon, fewer showers and more in the way of sunshine. Temperature-wise, maybe not quite as warm as the past couple of days. We've been highs of around 18 or 19, but 16 certainly possible. Certainly out towards the coast, again, the best place for sunshine and warmth. Sunday, mostly dry, still quite blustery. The winds ease into next week, but it will be fresher, back down to average. Have a good weekend.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Bob! Amy!
That's it for Granada Reports for today. We'll be back over the weekend. Hope you can join us, but until then, have a great evening. Bye-bye.